COVID-19 pandemic and all the stay-at-home orders enacted by governments worldwide have reshaped many industries. And there is obviously one winning industry. We can see this from the evaluation of the stock exchange, which is the tech industry. Tech industry was able not only to survive, but even to thrive during the pandemic. But at the same time, we see that other industries, more traditional industries or more affected by stay-at-home orders enacted by governments, could not really survive a pandemic. The case of restaurants, the case of hotels, so some of them were able to restructure their operations and to use more digital means, but some could not survive the pandemic. So what this implies for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs should be aware of trends, macro trends happening in the market. We learn from past videos that for entrepreneurs to create a venture, they need to have a deep knowledge of a market. A deep knowledge of a market paired with an equally deep knowledge and understanding of a technology. Does this suffice? No, of course, it's not enough. Entrepreneurs should also be aware of the trends. They should be aware whether these trends are in line with their business ideas, whether the venture can strive in some specific industry or using some specific technology based on overall trends. Trends are important at global level, international level, but at the same time we have also some very relevant trends at regional level. So entrepreneurs should consider both international trends as well as regional trends. So what you will learn in this video will be about technology trends, industries that are evolving, that are changing, that are reshaping the way we live and we behave as consumers and business owners. Additionally, you will also understand that trends are very important at international level, and if you're able as an entrepreneur to spot the right trend internationally, this will give your company the potential to scale up across borders and to seize opportunities not only in the domestic market but also in international markets. Get yourself ready and let's start with this video. Let me begin with some questions for exploration to check, to test what we are going to see in the video. So initially, we will understand better what are the current trends, what is the current state in the tech industry. We will also see how trends can help entrepreneurs to evaluate an opportunity. Trends, of course, are not the main reason why entrepreneurs choose an industry. However, a trend can help entrepreneurs make an opportunity assessment. And finally, we will see how the data collection can help entrepreneurs succeed internationally. Let's start with industry trends first. Industry trends are based on specific industry, specific sectors. At the moment, we can identify multiple trends that are already quite solid, quite well established in the market. You can see here in my lecture notes some examples of these trends. For instance, wearable trend. So all the devices, personal devices that you can wear on yourself and they can detect, collect data. For example, smartwatches and the like of it. So this is already a solid trend. We will see more of this gadget being introduced in the market. We will see this matching with the need of people to have more healthcare services, on-demand healthcare services, real-time healthcare services. Another trend that is reshaping businesses is the overall green trend. For example, we have cases of green finance, so investment houses that set up funds addressing a, let's say, socially responsible type of investment. You probably heard about ESG, environmental, societal, and governance. So this is an international standard, an international scorecard that help evaluate how businesses are prepared, how businesses are complying with standards related to the environment, protection, societal impact, and the governance of a business. Another major industry that is changing, and is changing not only in America or in China, but also in Southeast Asia, is payments, and particularly e-payments, financial payments. In Southeast Asia, we are seeing a rapid growth of financial payments. A few years back, the major way of payment was cash. So one common point that analysts made about the digital economy in Southeast Asia was that cash was still king, and that majority of e-commerce players, they had to rely on cash on delivery, meaning that they deliver the goods, but then people would have paid cash upon reception of the goods. This is not the case any longer, so we see a lot of new entrants in the market, a lot of digital wallets. We see banks doing digital wallets, we see startups such as Grab doing digital wallets. We see also account-to-account type of payments. This is generally defined as A2A. So account-to-account type of payment would be based on a QR code to scan and then to transfer the money from your bank account to the bank account of a merchant. An example of this here in Thailand is PromptPay, which is rapidly gaining market share and is a widely adopted solution. So this is a big trend worldwide. We have different players, different solutions, whether we are in Southeast Asia, in China, in America, or in Europe, but we see this trend happening everywhere. Another trend that we observe is the so-called maker trend, and this is due to the easy access to means of production nowadays. For example, 3D printers for plastic products, as well as 3D printers for metals, aluminum, and so on. So these machines, these equipment are easy for people to have access to, are easy for people to use, to deploy. So we see a lot of new products coming in. It's much easier now for people to make a prototype compared to the past. Of course, mobile is also a major trend. We can actually say that mobile, even more than a trend, is a foundation, is a sort of like enabling technology for all the other trends that we see in the market. Mobile phones are, for example, an enabler for financial payments through electronic devices. If you don't have a smartphone, of course, you cannot adopt e-payments. So mobile is definitely the foundation of new trends. Following the pandemic, we also have an increased interest in health. So health solutions, real-time response for people to know about their health status, being connected anywhere, anytime with medical doctors. So all these solutions that aim at higher accessibility of a healthcare system are now a major trend globally. Internet of Things, smart devices, these are also new trends. Internet of Things, or IoT, essentially means to collect data in all the equipment, in all the machines that you are using every day, or that you're using in your factories, in your office, and so on. So this is, again, a strong trend that companies should definitely seize, because it's now a request that is leading the market. Let's move on to some more granular information about technology trends. This comes from a report by the management consulting company McKinsey. This is a report from 2020, so it's a recent report. So here in this slide you can see the four different industrial revolution, the first, the second, and the third industrial revolution, but we are now entering in the main stage of a fourth industrial revolution. And you can see also the acceleration that technology gave to economies according to the industrialization stage. So when economies enter into the first industrial revolution, which was the efficient steam engine developed in Great Britain, in the United Kingdom. So then you can see this exponential growth of technology. Industry 4.0 or fourth industrial revolution is likely to accelerate technology advancement by 10x. So this is a really exponential growth of technology advancements. Some of the technology trends highlighted by McKinsey are related to information technology. As you can see, information technology is growing. Health is also a robust trend, but more traditional industries are actually declining. For example, energy, for example, materials, for example, real estate. So it's really important to be in the right industry. So moving on, we can also see what are the technical maturity and industry applicability for this new technology. So you can see that some technology are more at fundamental research stage, other technology are at market entry stage, and finally some are already at industry adoption. And then the strategy will also depend whether the technology are covering multiple industries or whether this technology can only be deployed in specific niche. According to this McKinsey report, so here you can find the technology that are global trends and that will reshape many industries. For example, process automation, including IoT, including digital twin technology that are related to the simulation of how equipment work. So instead of having to check the equipment in person, you can use a digital twin technology, and this technology will simulate exactly how your equipment and machinery works. And this is, of course, a very useful and a very efficient type of technology that energy industries, manufacturing industries, utility industries are deploying. Another important technology is connectivity. And again, connectivity is a sort of foundation, is an enabling technology that allows many other industries to grow. 5G is an example of this. Thailand is one of the early adopters of 5G technology, was the first nation in Southeast Asia to adopt 5G. Distributed infrastructure, for example, cloud computing and edge computing. These infrastructure again enable other technology to strive and to be widely adopted in the market. We see also new era, new age coming computer, specifically as regards quantum computing. We also see the application of artificial intelligence for industries. So how we can deploy artificial intelligence in many industries, not only in financial services, which was an early application of AI, but also now in energy manufacturing. So all companies are trying to optimize their operations and adopt artificial intelligence and machine learning for this. We see also in development of software and programming, and then new architecture fostered by blockchain and the so-called Web3. At the same time, we have also some technology that are specific to some industry. One of them is bio, so all the biotechnology, biocomputing, and so on, so related to biology. Second one is material sciences. Material sciences is how we can improve, how we can find out the next generation of materials. For example, material sciences can be applied in healthcare. There are startups also here in Bangkok that are producing artificial bones using next generation materials. So this is a way to deploy a very new technology in the healthcare sector. And the final trend, industry-specific trend, is related to clean technology, energy technology. One important point to consider about trends is the impact. So for entrepreneurs, when they are assessing their business, they need to consider how these trends will have an impact on their own business, on the industry, on the market, and so on. Second point to consider, which is equally important, is about the technical maturity. Entrepreneurs rely on their knowledge of the market and knowledge of technology, but as first mover into the market, many times they don't know whether the technology is ready to be deployed in a large scale. So this is again an important point, the technical maturity of new technology. In the final point to consider, this is a more of a strategic consideration, is the fit with the organization. So whether new technology are a fit to the organization in terms of capability of the organization. Capability means the skills, the resources, the assets that an organization owns and that can further develop the business of this organization. At the same time, we also need to see whether these new technologies are a fit for the business model of the organization. So trends are in a way an additional evidence for entrepreneurs to make their opportunity evaluation. However, a trend is not a source of ideas. So the ideas of a business will come not from the trends, but from other sources. And as we said already in the prior episodes, an entrepreneur must have a very deep knowledge of a market. A trend kind of knowledge of a market is not enough to be a successful entrepreneur. So how can entrepreneurs actually source new ideas? In some cases, they will come from the entrepreneur himself. I gave in a few episodes ago an example, which is how mountain bikes were created. Not from producers, but mountain bikes were created by users that use normal bicycles in an not appropriate way, and then they invented a new innovation, being the mountain bike. So in some cases it will be the entrepreneur to come up with this. But in other cases, the source of new idea can come from consumers. So consumers will really detect the pain points in the market, and consequently they will come up with some new ideas, but we are not able to implement them. So entrepreneurs can gather these suggestions and then make these suggestions turn into actions and then into a business. It could be also an improvement of existing products or existing services. Source of new ideas can also come from the distribution channels. So how you are marketing your products. In some cases, you will come up with a different business model with different partners, and this may lead to the creation of a new venture or even a new market. Governments, in some cases, through grants, through research centers, through universities, can be the one propelling new ideas, and then entrepreneurs can take care of the commercialization of innovations. So with governments creating patents and entrepreneurs taking care of technology transfer and commercialization of innovation. And finally, source of new idea will be the R&D department of companies, so the research and development capabilities of private businesses. So all of this will also help us understand how entrepreneurs can scale up their business internationally. So by using new ideas, by creating new ventures, it's also important that at this point entrepreneurs are aware of the way ahead for their business, because markets are going to be more and more integrated. Sometimes we don't even differentiate any longer between a domestic or a regional type of market. So it's important that at a very early stage of company creation, there is a clear path for entrepreneurs to pave the way for the business to scale up internationally, meaning business being able to go beyond borders. This can be done through an opportunity assessment plan, meaning that the entrepreneur will evaluate opportunity not only in his or her own domestic market, but also in opportunities that can be seized in the same region, or even beyond the same region where the entrepreneur operates. The opportunity assessment plan will focus primarily on the product rather than on the venture. So for example, in this plan, we can include a description of a product, the market, the features of a product, how this product is filling a market need, what are the competitors, and so on. And then the second part will be more into the market, domestically, internationally, and also the trends, the growth rate, and why the entrepreneur should scale up internationally. A third section of this opportunity assessment plan should see whether this opportunity is in line with the skills, with the background, with the prior experiences of the entrepreneur. And the final step will be more into the execution and implementation. So essentially a timeline with the milestones that the entrepreneur plans to achieve, and also with the resources and the investment required for this opportunity assessment plan. So when entrepreneurs are moving internationally, how can they gather the information? Because of course, when you are creating a venture and when you're also planning for the international expansion of your venture in selling your product regionally or internationally, you probably need further information to support your decision. There are various information sources. In generally speaking, this could be Chamber of Commerce, can be industry association, could be reports by management consulting companies, could be reports, white papers, analysis by banking and financial institutions, and it can also come from specialized media. In most advanced countries like the United States, there are actually so many sources that entrepreneurs can tap into. For example, small business development centers, various networks of entrepreneurs and startups. Beyond these, entrepreneurs can also refer to consulting companies such as Frost & Sullivan, Euromonitors, Gallup. So all these consulting companies collect data, and then we create database with the market size, the market growth, industry trends, who are the players in the market share in a specific market, and so on. So all this information are routinely collected by these companies, and then entrepreneurs can purchase this database and have access to very granular type of data that will help them assess the opportunity in regional market. Additional sources can also come from government. For example, import-export authorities. It can be also reports from the census. So on demographics, even though it's a major trend, but will tell us where an economy is going. Southeast Asia, we see that some countries have challenging demographics. Singapore, Thailand are among them. So these are like aging society. So this will tell us that the economy will eventually grow at a slower pace because there will be less youth to be employed. There will be most likely less innovation. There will be less skilled workers, and there will be more pensions and more funding to be employed in healthcare and support for aging families, aging family members. But in the very same Southeast Asia, we have other economies that are rapidly growing because of very favorable demographics. The Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia are all blessed by very favorable demographics. Was the same case for China, but now also China is entering a more challenging period with less favorable demographics. But one of the key factors that propelled the growth of China in the past 30 years was very favorable demographics. So a young, energetic, innovative, skilled workforce contributing to the growth of the economy. So this is a first part on what entrepreneurs should be aware when they generate ideas for their venture. And the two main factors are overall trends. Entrepreneurs should be aware of overall trends. So when they do the idea generation, they should match their idea generation with the trends that internationally, regionally, domestically are reshaping industries and consumer behavior. And the second important factor for entrepreneurs to consider is a potential way of seizing new opportunities regionally and internationally. So this is what we call scale-up entrepreneurship, meaning that when we create a venture, since the very beginning, we want to project our venture outside of a domestic market. And so we come up with a product that can be sold not only in a niche market domestically, but can be successful across borders, at least regionally or even internationally. I hope this gave you some good food for thoughts for your future ventures and for your opportunity assessment as entrepreneurs, considering these two major criteria of trends, technology and industry trends, and scale up entrepreneurship, so grow across the borders. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.